Have you ever walked into your garden only to find your beautiful vegetables covered with holes, your roses crawling with aphids, or your leafy greens disappearing overnight? Many gardeners immediately reach for chemical sprays, believing they're the only solution. But what if the best defense has been growing in flower beds for centuries? Some flowers don't just make a garden look beautiful, they actively help protect it. Their scent, oils, nectar, or even the insects they attract can reduce pest populations naturally. Imagine planting flowers that work around the clock, requiring no electricity, no batteries, and no expensive chemicals. In today's video, we're exploring the best flowers that naturally repel garden pests. You'll discover which flowers keep aphids away, which discourage mosquitoes, beetles, whiteflies, cabbage worms, and even certain soil pests. We'll also cover exactly where to plant them, how they work, and which vegetables benefit the most from having these floral bodyguards nearby. By the end of this video, you'll know how to turn your garden into a healthier, more balanced ecosystem where beneficial insects thrive and destructive pests struggle to survive. Let's get started. Why flowers can protect your garden. Before we jump into specific flowers, it's important to understand one thing. Flowers don't act like invisible force fields. Instead, they influence the garden in several fascinating ways. Some release strong natural compounds through their leaves and blossoms. Certain insects dislike these scents and avoid the area whenever possible. Others confuse pests by masking the smell of vegetables. Many insects locate crops by scent. When aromatic flowers are mixed among vegetables, pests have a harder time finding their favorite plants. Some flowers attract beneficial insects like ladybugs, lacewings, hoverflies, parasitic wasps, and predatory beetles. These helpful insects feed on aphids, caterpillars, mites, and other destructive pests. Certain flowers even improve soil health by affecting harmful nematodes beneath the surface. The goal isn't to eliminate every insect. A healthy garden always has insects. The goal is balance. When beneficial insects outnumber harmful ones, your garden becomes naturally resilient. Now let's meet the first group of flowers every gardener should consider. 1. Marigolds, the classic garden protector. If there were an award for the hardest working flower in the vegetable garden, marigolds would probably win. Bright, cheerful, and incredibly easy to grow, marigolds have earned their reputation for good reason. Their roots release natural compounds that can reduce populations of certain harmful nematodes in the soil. These microscopic worms attack plant roots and weaken vegetables before gardeners even notice a problem. Above ground, the strong fragrance of marigolds can discourage whiteflies, aphids, squash bugs, and some beetles. French marigolds are especially famous for pest control. Plant them around tomato beds, beside peppers, near beans, around potatoes, along vegetable borders. Instead of placing just one marigold here and there, create clusters every few feet. A stronger concentration of flowers provides a greater effect. Another advantage is that marigolds bloom continuously for months, providing nectar for beneficial insects all season long. Deadhead spent blooms regularly, and they'll keep flowering until frost. 2. Nasturtiums, the sacrificial hero. Here's a flower with a very different strategy. Rather than repelling every pest, nasturtiums often attract pests away from valuable vegetables. Gardeners call this a trap crop. Aphids, flea beetles, cabbage butterflies, cucumber beetles, and blackflies frequently choose nasturtiums instead of nearby vegetables. That means your broccoli, cabbage, kale, cucumbers, and beans receive much less damage. Their colorful orange, yellow, and red flowers also attract pollinators while their leaves remain edible with a peppery flavor similar to arugula. Nasturtiums spread beautifully across the ground, helping shade soil and suppress weeds at the same time. For best results, plant them around cucumbers, squash, cabbage, broccoli, kale, Radishes. Check the plants every week. If aphids become concentrated on the nasturtiums, you can simply prune the infested stems, reducing pest numbers without touching your vegetables. It's an elegant example of working with nature rather than against it. 3. Lavender, beauty with powerful fragrance. Few flowers smell as wonderful to people and as unpleasant to many pests as lavender. Its fragrant essential oils help discourage mosquitoes, moths, fleas, and some flies. Meanwhile, bees absolutely love it. One healthy lavender plant can buzz with pollinators all summer long. Plant lavender along garden pathways, near seating areas, beside roses, around herb gardens, near vegetable beds with good drainage. Lavender thrives in sunny locations with well-drained soil. Avoid overwatering. In fact, lavender performs best when the soil dries slightly between waterings. Once established, it's remarkably drought-tolerant and requires very little maintenance. Its silver-green foliage also adds year-round beauty, even when it's not blooming. 4. Calendula, a magnet for beneficial insects. Calendula, sometimes called pot marigold, deserves a place in almost every vegetable garden. Its cheerful yellow and orange blooms produce nectar over a long season. Hoverflies, ladybugs, parasitic wasps, lacewings, and native bees all visit calendula flowers. Why does that matter? Because many of these beneficial insects have hungry larvae that consume hundreds of aphids before reaching adulthood. One lacewing larva can devour astonishing numbers of soft-bodied pests during its short life. Calendula also attracts pollinators that improve fruit production in crops like squash, cucumbers, melons, and pumpkins. Plant calendula between vegetable rows rather than only around the edges. This spreads beneficial insect activity throughout the garden instead of concentrating it in one location. Even better, calendula often self-seeds. Allow a few flowers to mature naturally, and you'll likely enjoy new plants the following spring, with almost no effort. 5. Sweet alyssum, tiny flowers, huge benefits. At first glance, sweet alyssum doesn't seem like a pest-fighting powerhouse. Its flowers are tiny. Its plants stay low to the ground. But don't underestimate it. Sweet alyssum produces hundreds of nectar-rich blossoms that attract hoverflies, one of the best natural predators of aphids. Adult hoverflies feed on nectar. Their larvae feed on aphids. This creates an incredibly effective natural control system. Alyssum also attracts tiny parasitic wasps that attack caterpillars, whiteflies, and other destructive insects before they can multiply. Because it forms a dense carpet, alyssum helps conserve soil moisture while reducing weed growth around vegetables. Plant it near lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, carrots, brassicas, herbs. Its continuous blooms provide food for beneficial insects from spring until autumn. And unlike taller flowers, it won't shade your crops. So far, we've covered 5 remarkable flowers that can transform the way your garden handles pests without relying on harsh chemicals. But we're only getting started. So far, we've explored 5 outstanding flowers that help protect your garden naturally: marigolds, nasturtiums, lavender, calendula, and sweet alyssum. Each one works in a different way, from confusing pests with strong scents to attracting armies of beneficial insects that do the hard work for you. Now it's time to discover even more flowers that can strengthen your garden's natural defenses. Some of these plants are surprisingly easy to grow, while others have been trusted by gardeners for generations. Let's continue. 6. Chrysanthemums, nature's powerful insect deterrent. Chrysanthemums are famous for their bright autumn blooms, but many gardeners don't realize they're also connected to one of nature's best-known insect-fighting compounds. Certain chrysanthemum species naturally contain pyrethrins, compounds that have long been used in botanical insecticides. While simply growing chrysanthemums won't eliminate every pest, their presence can help discourage some insects and contribute to a more balanced garden ecosystem. These colorful flowers are often avoided by ants, some beetles, certain roaches, ticks in nearby landscaped areas, a variety of nuisance insects. Plant chrysanthemums around patios, garden borders, or near ornamental beds where they receive at least 6 hours of sunlight each day. To keep them blooming well, remove faded flowers and divide mature clumps every few years. 7. Petunias, colorful flowers that help protect vegetables. Petunias are often grown purely for decoration, yet they also offer surprising benefits in vegetable gardens. Many gardeners like planting petunias near crops because their sticky foliage and scent can help discourage or distract certain pests, including aphids, leafhoppers, tomato hornworms, asparagus beetles. Their trumpet-shaped flowers attract bees and other pollinators while adding vibrant color throughout the growing season. Petunias pair especially well with tomatoes, beans, peppers, basil, eggplants. Because they bloom continuously, they provide nectar for beneficial insects over many months. Choose disease-resistant varieties whenever possible and water at the base to reduce fungal problems. 8. Burrage, the pollinator magnet. If bees could choose a favorite flower, burrage would likely be near the top of the list. Its beautiful blue, star-shaped flowers produce nectar continuously, attracting honeybees, bumblebees, and many native pollinators. But that's only part of the story. Burrage is believed to help reduce pressure from tomato hornworms and cabbage worms, while encouraging a diverse population of beneficial insects. It's an excellent companion for tomatoes, strawberries, squash, cucumbers. Another bonus: its edible flowers have a mild cucumber flavor and make beautiful additions to salads or summer drinks. Burrage grows quickly and often self-seeds, giving gardeners free plants year after year. 9. Cosmos, a haven for helpful insects. Cosmos may look delicate, but they're incredibly valuable in a pest-resistant garden. Their open flowers are perfect feeding stations for beneficial insects with short mouthparts, including lacewings, hoverflies, tiny parasitic wasps. These predators spend their lives searching for aphids, caterpillars, whiteflies, and other soft-bodied pests. Cosmos also attract butterflies and bees, increasing pollination across your garden. Plant them toward the back of vegetable beds where their taller stems won't shade shorter crops. Since cosmos tolerate poor soil surprisingly well, avoid over-fertilizing them. Rich soil often produces more leaves and fewer flowers. 10. Sunflowers, more than just giant blooms. Sunflowers add height, beauty, and wildlife value to any garden. Their large blossoms attract countless pollinators during summer. Later in the season, birds visit the mature seed heads. Many of those birds, including chickadees, finches, and wrens, also feed on insects that damage gardens. Sunflowers create a miniature ecosystem. Their sturdy stems can even support climbing beans, while their flowers bring in beneficial insects that patrol nearby vegetables. However, place giant sunflower varieties carefully. Avoid planting them where they'll cast heavy shade over sun-loving crops like tomatoes or peppers. Instead, position them along the northern edge of the garden if you're in the northern hemisphere, creating powerful flower combinations. One flower alone helps. Several flowers working together are much more effective. Think of your garden as a team rather than individual players. Here are a few combinations that many experienced gardeners enjoy using. Tomato bed, plant, French marigolds, sweet alyssum, basil, calendula. This mixture attracts pollinators while encouraging beneficial insects that prey on aphids and whiteflies. Cabbage family garden. Grow alongside nasturtiums, calendula, cosmos. These flowers help attract natural enemies of cabbage pests while giving butterflies alternative places to lay eggs. Cucumber and squash patch. Combine burrage, marigolds, nasturtiums, This creates an attractive environment for bees while helping reduce pressure from several common pests. Herb garden. Mixed together. Lavender. Alyssum. Calendula. The result is a fragrant garden buzzing with bees, hoverflies, and ladybugs throughout the season. Mistakes that reduce flower effectiveness. Many gardeners plant flowers expecting instant results. Then they become disappointed. Here are some common mistakes to avoid. Planting only one flower. A single marigold in one corner won't protect an entire vegetable garden. Scatter flowers throughout the growing area instead of concentrating them in one place. Waiting until pests arrive. Flowers work best before pest populations explode. Plant them early so beneficial insects establish themselves first. Removing every insect. Not every insect is harmful. Ladybug larvae, lacewing larvae, hoverflies, parasitic wasps, and many native insects are excellent allies. Learn to recognize them before reaching for sprays. Using broad-spectrum insecticides. Even organic insecticides can kill beneficial insects if used carelessly. If flowers are attracting helpful predators, avoid spraying unless absolutely necessary. Otherwise, you may eliminate the very insects protecting your garden. Lack of diversity. A garden filled with only one flower species offers fewer resources than a diverse planting. Mix flower shapes, bloom times, heights, and colors. Continuous blooms from spring through autumn provide a steady food supply for beneficial insects. We've covered some of the best flowers for naturally reducing pest problems, from marigolds and nasturtiums to borage, cosmos, and sunflowers. But knowing which flowers to grow is only half the story. The real secret is learning how to combine them into a healthy garden ecosystem. 1. Where beneficial insects always have food, shelter, and a reason to stay. Let's put everything together. Build a garden that protects itself. Think of your garden as a neighborhood rather than a collection of separate plants. A garden filled with only one crop is easy for pests to find. If insects discover a row of identical plants, they can spread quickly from one to the next. Now imagine that same garden with flowers, herbs, vegetables, and small open spaces all mixed together. Strong scents confuse pests. Bright flowers attract pollinators. Beneficial insects move from flower to flower searching for prey. Birds stop by to hunt caterpillars and beetles. Suddenly, your garden becomes much harder for pests to dominate. This approach is often called increasing biodiversity, and it's one of the simplest ways to create a healthier growing space. Keep flowers blooming all season. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make is planting flowers that bloom for only a few weeks. Beneficial insects need nectar throughout the growing season, not just in spring. Try to choose flowers that bloom in succession. Early season. Calendula. Alyssum. Mid-season. Marigolds. Lavender. Borage. Late season. Cosmos. Chrysanthemums. Sunflowers. With flowers blooming from spring until the first frost, helpful insects are much more likely to remain in your garden instead of flying elsewhere. Deadhead flowers regularly to encourage new blooms, and avoid cutting everything back at once. Don't make your garden too tidy. It may sound surprising, but an overly perfect garden isn't always the healthiest. Many beneficial insects need places to hide during hot afternoons or bad weather. Leave small patches of mulch, flowering herbs, or dense vegetation where helpful insects can rest. If every inch of soil is bare and every spent flower is removed immediately, these natural predators may move away. A balanced garden has a little room for wildlife. Water wisely. Healthy plants naturally resist pests better than stressed plants. Water deeply rather than lightly. Deep watering encourages stronger roots, making vegetables more resilient during dry weather. Whenever possible. Water early in the morning. Avoid soaking leaves late in the day. Focus water at the base of plants. This reduces fungal diseases while helping flowers and vegetables thrive. Healthy soil means healthier plants. Flowers alone can't solve every problem. Healthy soil is the foundation of natural pest resistance. Each year, add compost, well-rotted manure, leaf mold, organic mulch. Healthy soil produces vigorous plants that recover from minor insect damage much faster than weak plants growing in poor conditions. Remember, insects often attack stressed plants first. Welcome pollinators. Many gardeners focus only on keeping pests away, but attracting pollinators is just as important. Bees, butterflies, moths, and other pollinating insects increase production in many crops, including tomatoes, cucumbers, pumpkins, squash, melons, strawberries. The flowers you've learned about today don't just reduce pest pressure, they also help increase harvests by encouraging pollination. That means healthier plants and often more fruits and vegetables. Be patient. Natural pest control isn't instant. Chemical sprays may kill insects within hours. Nature works differently. It takes time for ladybugs to find aphids. Hoverflies need time to lay eggs. Parasitic wasps gradually reduce caterpillar populations. As your garden becomes more diverse each season, you'll often notice that pest outbreaks become less severe. Many experienced gardeners say their gardens become easier to manage after several years of planting flowers consistently. Nature rewards patience. A simple flower plan for beginners. If you're just starting, don't feel like you need to plant every flower we've discussed. Begin with a few reliable favorites. Around tomatoes, marigolds, sweet alyssum, near cabbage and broccoli, nasturtiums, calendula, along pathways, lavender, near cucumbers and squash, burrage, in sunny borders, cosmos, sunflowers. This simple combination provides nectar, attracts pollinators, supports beneficial insects, and adds beautiful color throughout the growing season. As your confidence grows, you can experiment with new flower combinations each year. Final tips for success. Before we finish, here are a few habits that make a huge difference. Inspect your garden every few days instead of waiting for major damage. Encourage birds by providing fresh water and safe places to perch. Plant flowers in groups rather than scattering single plants. Avoid overusing nitrogen fertilizer, which can produce lush growth that attracts aphids. Rotate vegetable crops each season to help break pest life cycles. Remove heavily infested leaves promptly to slow pest populations. Leave a few flowering herbs such as dill, fennel, cilantro, or parsley to bloom, as their flowers are excellent food sources for beneficial insects. Small actions, repeated consistently, often have a greater impact than dramatic interventions. Conclusion. A beautiful garden and a productive garden don't have to be separate goals. In fact, they often go hand in hand. By choosing flowers that naturally support beneficial insects, confuse harmful pests, and attract pollinators, you're creating a garden that works with nature instead of against it. No flower can guarantee a pest-free garden. But together, these plants can reduce pest pressure, improve biodiversity, and make your garden healthier and more resilient over time. Instead of relying on chemical sprays as the first solution, let flowers become part of your gardening toolkit. They bring color, fragrance, pollinators, and natural balance all while helping your vegetables and fruits thrive. If you found this guide helpful, let us know in the comments which flower has been the most effective in your garden. Your experience might help another gardener solve a pest problem naturally. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss more practical gardening tips, seasonal growing guides, and natural solutions for a healthier, more productive garden. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy gardening.